as we do at the beginning of every month, we have ASEAN Roundup, and it's with pleasure I introduce Daniel Schwartz, the Vice President of Global Marketing for AseanAffairs. Thanks for joining us once again, Daniel.
Hello, Kip. Always great to be here, and always our pleasure to be on the show and do our monthly ASEAN Roundup.
Well, of course, the big news over the last month has been the recent activities down in Phuket.
Yes, the Asia Regional Forum, which is a security framework forum, was held under very, very tight security from around July 14th till 24th or so. It was definitely high security to prevent the debacle that happened last time in April in Pattaya, so Thailand definitely wanted to make sure this one was going to go off without a hitch.
And it seemed like the number of delegates and participants was higher anyway than what was perhaps expected in Pattaya. We even had people like Hillary Clinton flying in.
Sure. Well, this forum's the Asia Regional Forum. It basically includes all 10 ASEAN countries, 10 trade partners, and a few others, so it's a grand total of maybe 27 very senior ranking officials were there. And of course, Hillary Clinton made her trip there, and it was more of a symbol of U.S. re-engagement in Asia. Under the previous administration, there was a little bit less involvement from the U.S. side. So with Hillary there, that's signifying a brand new era from the United States.
And of course, there was a little bit of an interaction, wasn't there? North Korea and Hillary Clinton herself?
Yes, well, North Korea is one of the members of the Asia Regional Forum, including Myanmar and all the other ASEAN countries. And it was the Secretary of State and foreign ministers. There's a little bit of a sparring match between Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, and her counterpart from North Korea. But it's over a pretty significant issue, you know, the prevent a proliferation of nuclear weapons and the cozying up between North Korea and the junta in Myanmar.
Well, certainly a little bit of a concern. All these meetings, we know because we've just been down in Phuket the last few weeks shooting Morning Talk, and it has had a huge, profound effect on the Phuket economy in a very good way. But in terms of actual things getting done, it's very much a signal, as you said earlier, that Hillary would be coming out here at all. But what actually gets achieved in these meetings? Do you think there's something concrete that we can pull out of it?
Well, from this one, there was the signing of a treaty of amity and cooperation that was signed by the U.S. Secretary of State Clinton, which commits the United States to renunciation of the threat or use of force and the non-interference into other countries' internal affairs, including Myanmar, who's been targeted, the junta has been targeted by U.S. sanctions since 1997. They were tightened up in 2003, even tighter in 2007 and 2008, and then renewed in late July this year. So what we're seeing, you know, is the U.S. agreeing to sign this treaty, which is something that had not been done previously. The previous Bush administration had not signed it, even though 15 other non-ASEAN countries had already signed it.
So what will be the effect on the region for us?
Well, I think it'll be a positive effect to see the U.S. re-engage, and sanctions maybe don't work so well. And trying to talk, trying to work through a regional framework if it has some teeth, and the Myanmar junta and the North Koreans will start to, say, play ball and cooperate a little bit, and everybody try and work together, because it's in nobody's best interest if there's nuclear proliferation and higher tensions and threats of war and things like that. That won't be good for business for anybody.
So that was an underlying theme of the forum then, that this was very much about nuclear non-proliferation.
That was probably the biggest story out of the forum, was the U.S. signing that and the sparring match between the U.S. and the North Koreans. A couple of other facts about this group. It's not a new group. It's been around since 1994, and the main purpose of this group is to have security dialogue and provides a setting to discuss regional security issues and develop cooperative measures to enhance peace. I mean, it's really a group about security and peace and helping to keep everything moving along on an even keel. As I said earlier, it's 27 members. I missed one, I think, somewhere. It's the 10 ASEAN member states, 10 major trade partners, which are Australia, Canada, China, the EU, India, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Russia, and the U.S. There's an ASEAN observer, Papua New Guinea, and 6 other members, North Korea, Mongolia, Pakistan, East Timor, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So that's the group, and it's been around for, 15 years. So it's not new.
It's not new, but it's achieving some goals now. Just looking at it from Thailand's perspective, certainly there was originally going to be a meeting, I think, last year, and that got delayed.
Sure.
Then it was supposed to be held in April. We had the issues in Pattaya, which we don't need to repeat, coloured shirts and so forth and so on. This time it ran smoothly without a hitch, very good security. Do you think this raises Thailand's profile as a trustworthy place to come now?
I believe it improves things in Thailand. They had no choice but to make this come off without a hitch, with top security, everything going fine. It helped to have it in Phuket, which is a little bit easier for them to control, and they were successful in making this a very successful meeting. Something good came out of the meeting itself, and it can only help to improve Thailand's image and get it back to where it needs to be. Because Thailand's still a beautiful place to vacation, wonderful place to live, and don't always believe everything everybody sees on TV, because you only get a little bit of a snippet, not the whole picture.
Except Morning Tour, you get more than a snippet with us. Talking about ASEAN Affairs, the most recent issue, it's on the newsstands, I believe, as of now, cover, talking about Tesco Lotus.
Our newest issue is on the cover. It has the Sir Terry Leahy, the CEO of Tesco Worldwide.
It's actually Tesco Worldwide.
Tesco Worldwide,
Lotus
Tesco
here in
PLC,
Thailand.
yeah,
Yes.
correct. And it's talking about cashing in on the confidence crisis. The cover stories relative to the retail industry. Then we also have a 5-page spread on His Majesty the King and the sufficiency economy program and theories, with 5 pages of coverage. And then we'll see that as a regular feature in the magazine from now on.
Well, wonderful to hear. Also, in the issue as well, I'm sure there's coverage of Clinton's trip up here to Asia. Both Clintons actually spend time here nowadays, it seems.
Yes.
So we get a double batch. Daniel, thanks very much for joining us here on Morning Talk. And for those of you wanting to check it out, make sure that you find ASEAN Affairs on the newsstands, or of course you can get the constant updates if you visit their website as well. There's more coming up after the break. Stay tuned.